They've only got a few days to make it happen, sitting 8th right now. And as we mentioned earlier in the night, if they lose to Boston tonight and Orlando wins their game, those 8 and 9 spots flip-flop, Coach.
Well, you can see the difference between the two teams' schedule. I mean, on the Magic schedule, you have Boston, who should be the most formidable opponent. When you look at Miami, they've got some tough games. So this is you want to say it's a must-win for them tonight in their building?
Yeah. And all those teams, with the exception of Minnesota, all those teams in the Miami schedule are all playing for something right now.
Yeah, and that's what makes this last week of the season so intriguing, is how much is up for grabs for so many teams, Coach. The bottom of the East, nobody would have forecasted it would be this intriguing this late, and with the teams we have fighting it out. I think Miami's done a really nice job, though, staying in this battle. With timely performances and guys showing up when they need them, but now they got to hit a couple home runs here late to get it done.
Let's face it, some key adjustments along the way for Miami. At one point in the season, when Eric Spoelstra realized we are not defensively good enough to stay in this thing, he put his own in, and he lived with his own. Not just let's try for 2 plays, they make a 3, all right, we're out of it. He lived with it. He stayed with it. It won them basketball games. And then somewhere along the way where he must have had a meeting with Whiteside and said, we're going to change our starting lineup right here. Adebayo, you're in. Whiteside, you come off the bench. Now, with Dragic coming back from the injury, Dragic has been so key to them. From the time he's come back to now, he's been instrumental in them winning games to stay in the race.
Well, the Heat have won 6 of their last 9. Their defense has been the second best in the league during that 9-game stretch. And you see the difference between Dragic in wins and losses. I mentioned earlier, Dragic had a season 30 on Monday. That bucks a trend because, guys, he has been a much more productive and efficient scorer in Heat wins this season. How much should Miami be playing through their former All-Star?
A ton. Before he got hurt, this is a guy who was leading their team. This was the guy who was a catalyst for them and really get in a groove, finally kind of enter a groove in that role. Anytime you have an absence like he had, it takes away some of the chemistry. But the way he came back, Coach, as you mentioned, to me, has been key. That and the Adebayo move have been crucial for Miami. And who knows what their situation would be if Dragic hadn't gotten hurt or if he'd come back sooner.
To his credit, we haven't heard a peep out of Whiteside in terms of a complaint about this new role of his. And Adebayo has, for the most part, flourished as a starter. Why has it made such a difference?
I remember back in the beginning of the year, their coaching staff talking about the development of Adebayo and the fact that this guy could be a starter eventually before all is said and done. So it's just a matter of him becoming a little bit more consistent. And when you think about it, bringing Dragic off the bench now with Whiteside on that second unit and then filter in a couple of the other guys, I felt all along, and isn't it interesting, that Ellington couldn't find the spot in their rotation, yet he was so key for them a season ago. But they just had too many guys that were similar guys, and they sat and met with him and tried to make him understand this isn't a punishment. It's just that how do we get you in there? He's moved on. He's contributing now, and they've kind of gotten their rotation. Interesting. When Dragic played in the beginning of the year, he was a liability to their defense. When he didn't play, we can't win without his scoring.
Right.
Now he comes back and gives them score with the second unit. It's all worked out.
Brad Stevens knows a little something about the logjam of players that he's had on his roster as well. Some good news, by the way, for the Heat tonight. Justice Winslow, Josh Richardson, Rodney McGruder, all expected to return from injuries tonight. They've all missed a variety of different games. On the other side, game 2 of the doubleheader tonight, how the Beard can crack the Clipper code.